5 altcoins you cannot afford to miss on the current dip. What great entry levels we have to DCA, right? Well, first of all, what makes a good entry level? Well, a good entry level is pretty much a level in which you can buy any altcoin, even if it is an altcoin you currently are up on, that allows you to achieve your goals in a realistic way. This chart here is one I've shown many times recently on the channel. It is the gray, green, and red zone of a chart. Now, you want to always be selling when it's the most liquid, basically when there is someone wanting to buy when you're selling, so there has to be some more confidence in the coin, and that is where you want to look to sell. And there are some rules around this. 25% down from the price prediction is the red zone. That's running a risky game. Gray zone is a middle area, and always sell in the green zone if you can. This is a H-bar, for example, not a coin on this list. I just wanted to prove the point where I'm selling this coin is about 55 cents. So I'm selling well in the green zone. Most people will look to probably sell up around here. I'm just going to make my money and get out. Of course, if you can't achieve your goals on any of these coins in this area, you can see here this is about a 6x or so. Well, then look for a coin that can easily hit your target in the green zone. So most of the coins on today's list will allow you to achieve your goals in a realistic way, probably no more than a 20x. Some of these coins you probably should look for a 10x, but I will of course mention that as they come along. Now, what's the first coin on this list? Well, before I mention that one, guys, please, if you do find yourself enjoying the content, okay, a lot of work goes into these things, go down there and drop a like on the video. It actually makes my day, believe it or not, and hit the subscribe button. That's the most important thing. So you, of course, can achieve all your crypto goals this cycle with our daily crypto content. Now, the first coin is Ondo Finance. I actually made a detailed video into Ondo Finance talking about why I'm bullish on this a few days ago, right? So go have a look. How much Ondo do you need to retire? Talk about price predictions, the whole lot. But today, one of the key aspects and why I've chosen these 5 coins is mainly regarding the fact that they have an increase in token holders, particularly the top 100 holders like the whales, right? The big money are looking to buy and continue to hold these coins. Not just that, some of these coins will dance around that. They'll kind of be okay. Ondo definitely, as you can see here, is increasing in people holding this coin. Mainly even the top $1,000 to $100,000 holders. Okay, this green area is definitely increasing. So are all of them. And I think we look at Ondo's chart over here and scroll up and have a look at all. Every time the market seems to be going down or moving sideways, Ondo is like doing extremely better, right? It's doing the opposite of what the market's doing. And obviously the market's not been doing very favorable right now for all of us. So it just continues to defy the odds, which means, of course, there is a lot of strength. And that, of course, is shown on the chart I mentioned before with the top holders. So Ondo actually also is increasing in something else we need to look at when assessing a quality project at a time to buy like now. And that is its market dominance. Okay, we can see here one of the many tools I have in my bull run tool cheat sheet in the private community. Links, of course, down below. We can see Ondo Finance over here is up 300% or a 4x in regards to its market dominance. Okay, that's a 4x. Now, what does that mean? It means that Ondo's market cap or overall performance against the rest of the market is actually beating it by order of magnitude, well, basically 4x, okay, which is incredible. That in of itself is a good, strong reason for me, in addition to the increasing of wallets and also the price, that I think this is going to shock a lot of people, all right? It's already performing well, so everyone's kind of expecting it, but at the same time, I've seen people come in and say 2x, 3x, 4x, guys. It's in a real-world asset tokenization space. It's got a partner next to BlackRock. It taps into one of the tokenized short-term US Treasury fund that BlackRock tokenized on Ethereum and allows retail investors to leverage that with now 24/7 access to mint and redeem these tokens. So for me, this is an undeniable powerhouse in the real-world asset space. And we can also come to the token analyzer here and have a look at another interesting fact, which is, of course, this here, the cumulative holders versus the price. I mean, it's basically linear. You could almost argue it's starting to gear up to go exponential, but this is incredible, right? 18,600 new holders recently with 420 today, right? Nice 420 there. So ultimately, guys, everything's stacking up. Again, watch this video on Ondo to get more of an insight into it. I'll leave the links, of course, down below. A lot of people are kind of scrambling around this coin regarding the unlocks, guys. Unlocks are complete BS if you know what you're looking for here, right? We can see that only a small slither of the tokens on the unlock here at about January of next year is going to people who are likely to sell, right? VCs. Matter of fact, we can even come over here to the VC printer again on June, and we can actually have a look at Ondo. It has a low VC dominance, but a high probable for dump pressure. Now, that is only because these guys are likely going to dump at that time. They'll likely sell their tokens or a portion of their tokens because they're not going to be 100% unlocked at that time. And they're already at 23-ish X up. These guys probably up even more. So we can expect some sell-off to happen at that point, but it won't be enough to have a massive long-lasting dent in the price of Ondo. And that's to say that, price of Ondo isn't at points we're already hitting our goals, okay? So from this current price, I do expect a 10x from Ondo in the next 12 or so months, and likely go up even more. But again, watch that video for a deeper dive. Coin 2 is Aerodrome. Now, again, I think Aerodrome is a fantastic project. Well, I've actually already, again, done a full deep dive on this about 2 weeks ago, right? Get in early, this base altcoin will blow up. And I hinted at 20x. Yes, I think it can 20x, if not more. Why? Well, because we can compare it to a very similar DeFi DEX, basically, that was built on the Binance Smart Chain back in the last cycle, which of course was PancakeSwap. Now, this guy 20x from the relatively same price and valuation that Aerodrome is currently at, okay, 20x from there. And keep in mind, last cycle there was less overall money flowing around, and there is a hell of a lot more interest in the base ecosystem comparable to the BNB ecosystem from last time. There's a lot of comparisons we can take here with both of these projects and their underlying ecosystems, but I think Aerodrome is gearing up to be a lot better, right? And I think the demand and the interest in videos like this, I mean, just chuck Aerodrome on in YouTube. There are so many people looking for this project. It's incredible. So guys, unfortunately, this is the harsh reality of the crypto space. What makes a project good is its capability and marketing, right? Marketing mainly. If it's going to market itself and it has a cool, unique idea, it's going to gain attention and traction based on that. So YouTubers naturally and organically talking about it, like myself and many others, of course it's going to pick up natural steam, and therefore more buyers will come along. It's just how it works, alrighty? Now, in this case, again, I think we're very close to a really good entry level down here, starting at about 91 cents, moving, of course, down. Anything lower than that is obviously ideal, but I think this green zone down here at about 83 cents or so is a fantastic time to buy, but I DCA'd a little bit more into AERO today, actually. And I think from this, going back up to its all-time high, guys, that's 140%. That's a 2.5x. Just going back to its current, local all-time high. So this, to me, is obviously a really good thing. Now, of course, a project moving down that steeply, right, about 50% or so from its all-time high might sound scary, but a lot, and I mean a lot of altcoins have moved down that far. Most of the market has, regardless of what it is. Only a very few, like a couple we'll mention today later on, haven't done that, okay? They show extreme amounts of confidence, of course, Ondo being one of them, but it's completely normal, okay? It's nothing to be too overly afraid of. Now, you might ask again, Kai, why are you so bullish on Aerodrome? Well, again, it is the hub on Base, right? It has the most TVL, right? Total value locked in the Base ecosystem. And Base is, again, gearing up to be one of the best sort of ecosystems of the 2024/5 bull run, with about $700 million in TVL versus the next highest at 356, which is, of course, Uniswap, which is incredible. So, yeah, again, a lot of contrast can be made with PancakeSwap. Definitely makes it to this list. Next up, we have a larger cap project on this list, because really we're not trying to go too degen here. We want to have some safer plays, but this coin also is at a great level, and that's RNDR. It's in DePIN, it's in AI, guys. I mean, what else do I have to say? The market dominant strength of this coin, of course, being in AI and also being in DePIN, has its benefits, okay? As you can see here, the relative strength of the AI market is about 375%, or about 3.8x, and the relative strength of DePIN right now is more or less the same, because a lot of the coins overlap, and therefore it's extremely powerful together. All right, so I have a lot of confidence in Render to perform well. You can see, again, it is up, and I can also prove that here with this current, market cap dominance chart. Now, recently, of course, it was a lot higher. It was about a 3.5x. But of course, it's come down a little bit with the market pulling down, as altcoins do. Now, Render has made it to this list, not just because, of course, it's ingrained narratives, and of course, because the market dominance is up as well, but the holders are increasing. We can see here the token holders have been going up in a very linear fashion. By the way, this is the top 100 holders, so the big boys, right? They are accumulating, guys. And the fact that they're accumulating tells me we have a lot more room to grow. Now, my price predictions, of course, indicate we can see over a $100 token. I think a 10x from here is definitely on the cards, if not more. But again, go back to the age-old thing here. We're trying to sell in the green zone. Do not be greedy. Use this bull run to make the money for the next. So in terms of render, yes, you can say, well, Kyron, hang on a second. We haven't really fallen that much. We're kind of near these local all-time highs, about $13 or so. Really, is it a good time to buy? Well, you don't want to catch a falling knife. Let render settle a little bit longer. Let this, sort of base out, let it kind of begin to stabilize, then maybe look for an entry or just dollar cost average. It's very, very simple, right? But I'm telling you right now, the fact that, again, just like Ondo, it hasn't fallen too much here and a lot of whales are accumulating, it's a very good sign to see. Project 4 might surprise you. Actually, it is Kaspa with a K. Now, Kaspa was specifically chosen because of the sort of performance / tokenomics of the project as well. Now, yes, let's just address the elephant in the room, okay? Here we have a look at the price, okay? We are pretty much at all-time highs for this coin. So again, just like render, wait for the falling knife. But I wanted to bring this up because yet another tool we've got here accessible on the bull run cheat sheet says that Kaspa is actually performing, besides Monero, surprisingly, the best in the crypto space relative to the market, relative to Bitcoin. So the price change in the last basically 7 to 90 days has only been green and it's stabilized. I've seen this in the last week. It's been in the green, at least the last week, okay? And versus Bitcoin, we can see here that it's up on the 7 day and 90 day as well. So the fact that it's actually performing better versus Bitcoin is a very good sign, considering if we zoom out here, I mean, look, this is Monero, okay? Monero here is all green. Yes, it's understandable. Actually, I refreshed this sheet right before I made this video, and Kaspa was actually up pretty much double the percentages it is right now. But compared to all the other coins, like nothing else compares to Monero and Kaspa on this list we have over here in the bull run cheat sheet. So in my personal opinion, that's definitely a good sign to see. Not to mention as well, tokenomics wise, it is a fairly mined project. So when we talk about whales accumulating this coin, we aren't including, of course, the VCs who have hypothetical, locked up tokens right now that will have access at some point. Again, it launched very fairly on November the 7th. What a fair launch means is that there was no pre-mined tokens. There's a thing called the Genesis block, the very first block on a blockchain. What the team does is code that to unlock tokens to certain entities over time. And with a project like Bitcoin and Kaspa, that doesn't exist. That first block goes out with 0 tokens in circulation, and every single token that comes out therein is distributed to whoever mines the token or sells the token. Okay, so very, very fair in this case. And we can actually have a look even at the top 100 holders. And while this chart doesn't look like it's actually going upwards, at least in the last 1 month and even the last year, it's moving sideways, which, believe it or not, it's actually a fine thing. Most projects actually are going down ever so slightly. Why? Well, of course, because people are people in crypto and they sell their damn tokens whenever the market moves sideways. Everyone's very impatient in this industry, right? So that, in my opinion, is an absolute fine thing to see. Now, of course, you don't want to be buying at highs. Ideally, let it fall down a little bit more. In my personal opinion, I think it fell 5% from the current price onto this green zone here. And in the green zone, of course, is a fantastic entry level, I still think, because Kaspa has room to grow. A lot of concerns people have on these projects that have been out for a while that have 100x, right, is they feel like people are, most people are up 100x already on these coins. No. Market caps back then when, Kaspa was even at $100 million were very, very small, right? No one was really buying around then. And so you have to ask yourself, when was the most amount of volume traded? When were most people buying the coin? And that usually doesn't start gaining traction until about $500 million to $1 billion market cap. So Kaspa, yes, again, just like Render other coins, you might feel like, oh my God, everyone's going to dump on me later on in the bull run. But no, that's what I'm saying. Stick to the green zone and you will be just fine. Most people are greedy. That's why most people leave with less money or no money because they see 100x and they go, oh, what about 150x, right? And last, but definitely not least, we have Pyth Network. Now, I know. Kyron, you always talk about Pyth Network. The reason I'm talking about Pyth Network, yes, obviously I own pretty much all of these coins actually. The reason I'm also talking about Pyth Network is not because I own it and I want you to buy it. I mean, this video might get 20,000 views if I'm lucky. That's not going to move the price of Pyth. I'm just saying this because, guys, believe it or not, I actually enjoy what I talk about. I like these coins. I put my money where my mouth is basically, right? The reason why I love Pyth Network, put it very simply here, is the fact that it is the only major competitor to the likes of Chainlink and arguably does a better job of being an oracle than Chainlink. It is by far the best, most, I guess, eye-catching oracle project in the oracle space, which of course is going to gain a lot of demand when oracles start to pump. So again, going back to this narrative tracker sheet in the basically bull run cheat sheet, we can see that Pyth here is up about 24% in its lows to now. Again, this is the strength it's gained so far. But again, Pyth didn't come out back in October, right? Pyth isn't that old of a project, not quite anyway. So it really didn't have full advantage of being dirt cheap to have that sort of difference. So arguably, I believe if it was a more mature coin by a couple months, it would have had a lot more impressive than this. But comparable to other oracles on this sheet here, it's actually doing very well. Again, API 3 was a much older coin, so that's obviously doing a little bit better in this case. But the only comparable or major change in this is Flare. But Flare is, most importantly, a layer 1, barely is an oracle, okay? So just keep that in mind. So in my opinion, yes, Pyth Network has a lot to stand on. Now, the reason why it's down so much right now is mainly because of the massive token unlock. This scared most people out of the market at a time when sentiment in the market was also very bearish. So it really pulled down the price of Pyth. But I think right now is a bloody fantastic entry level. We have a look at, again, some of the stats here on Pyth, and it's crazy. In the month of April, right, $400 billion trading, 520 price feeds, 105 data providers, and you have a look at just 1 month growth, right? $100 billion increase in trading. It's got more partners and so on. I mean, it just keeps getting better every single month. And the way we can kind of see this is by just scrolling down and having a look at the price feeds increasing, for example, the data providers, which are the guys providing the infrastructure for this to work, they're also increasing, right? Total value secured had a bit of a lump, of course, because we have been in a bit of a slump basically the last couple of months, and now it's back up again to highs. I mean, this is all going up, but I think it's indicative here of the quality of the project. Protocols want to use it because it's effective and it's cheap, at least comparable to the likes of Chainlink. Now, of course, a big concern of Pyth as well was the amount of people that had the airdrop. Well, good news, we have about 2/3 that have already sold their airdrop tokens, which means we won't be exposed to that sort of side of things. You might argue, well, Kyron, there's a massive unlock, just like the one that's recently happened, coming up here soon. Well, not really, guys. That's in about 12 months from now, and I think by that time we should see at least a 10x on the price of Pyth. And if not, that actual unlock itself isn't daunting. There's a little bit more tokens in this case going to the private sale, but have a look at the price of Pyth, and what this did actually when the token unlock happened here is retail sold before the unlock, and on the day of the unlock it pumped, right? So I don't think we'll necessarily see a huge slump in the price of Pyth from actual VC selling. We might see a premature sell event happen, of course, from retail. We don't have to worry about the airdrop holders in that case as well, though. So in my personal opinion, very good signs for Pyth. I think is a fantastic entry level right now. And again, looking for that green zone, I'd probably say maybe a 10 to 15x. And then above that, you might end up in the gray and the red zone, okay? But if you want price predictions, guys, I've got about 110 in my private community built on data, as well as my own predictions in there as well. So if you want to know and get these levels all sorted out yourself, you know what to do. Link in the description under the private community. Look, with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. What coins are you buying on this dip? I think overall, let's just make some money together. Who cares what you're buying as long as you make money? Talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye.